President-elect Donald Trump is weighing in on an immigration issue that is dividing his own supporters. Trump is now siding with two of his most controversial new advisors over some MAGA loyalists on the issue of H-1B visas. It's a program mostly used for highly skilled technology workers. Elon Musk supports it, while advisors like Steve Bannon oppose it. Trump previously denounced the program, but on Tuesday he was asked why he changed his mind.
I didn't change my mind. I've always felt we have to have the most competent people in our country. We need competent people. We need smart people coming into our country. And we need a lot of people coming in. We're going to have jobs like we've never had before.
The program from top to bottom is a scam and a con. There is nothing in this program that should continue to exist. Nothing. These are coders that are going to work for a third of the salaries and work like indentured servants. That's not American citizens.
We're joined now live with Aimee Picchi. She is an associate managing editor for CBS Moneywatch with what this all means. Welcome. Thanks for being with us. So we see a split in the MAGA party in the incoming administration about what the policy will do, what we think will happen to the system. How much is Trump being influenced by Elon Musk and other players on his team versus the Steve Bannon camp and others who say this is essentially indentured servitude?
Well, look, I mean, this is a huge debate, and it's one that's been around for a long time. This visa program began in 1990, so it's not new. But what's interesting is that Trump campaigned on this policy of America first and deporting illegal immigrants, and also, creating jobs for Americans. So I think that's kind of where we're seeing the split, is that some of his supporters are feeling like this isn't what we were promised, and these jobs should go to Americans. Elon Musk, of course, funded or put hundreds of millions of dollars towards Trump's campaign and is one of his close advisors now. He's at Mar-a-Lago. He's co-running the Department of Government Efficiency, and he really has Trump's ear. And Elon Musk's company, Tesla, hires hundreds of people every year through the H-1B program, and he himself was on an H-1B visa early in his career. So he has ties to this visa program. So I think this is where we're kind of seeing this split between the tech world and a lot of supporters of Trump who really thought that he would have slightly different immigration policies, even when it comes to highly skilled workers from outside the U.S.
Yeah, so let's talk about what they actually do and what they mean, because often when we think of immigration and immigrant workers and the workforce, we think of unskilled workers, maybe domestic workers, farm workers. What are the criteria for H-1B visas?
Yeah, so H-1B visas are for basically technically skilled workers. You have to have at least a bachelor's degree. It's capped at 65,000 visas per year, although there's an additional 20,000 that are given to people with master's degrees, so even more highly skilled or trained people beyond that. And they're good for 3 years, and they can be renewed for another 3 years beyond that. And every year there's about 300,000 renewals that are given out to current visa holders. So there are a significant number of people in the U.S. With this visa. For a tech company to hire someone on this visa, they have to pay at least $60,000, a minimum of $60,000, or the prevailing wage for that job or prevailing wage in their area. So that's sort of the leeway there. But, it's interesting. There are economists that have looked at the wages that are being paid for H-1B workers, and they find that even though that's the stipulation that they should be earning the prevailing wage for that job, they're actually being paid about 20 to 30% less than U.S. workers. So this is a lot of where this the criticism comes from with the program, because a lot of critics, both on the right and the left, I'll point out, say it's allowing these tech companies to hire people for less than they would hire U.S. workers. So there's an incentive for these companies to use this visa program.
And we often hear the argument that there aren't enough Americans to fill these jobs. However, in California, we're seeing so many layoffs of tech workers in that industry. So are there enough Americans to do these jobs?
I mean, I think that's the big debate. And I will point out that the number of students studying engineering, studying STEM degrees has just soared in the last 20 years. If you look at the numbers that are graduating from those programs, it's gone way up. And so, a lot of people point to that and say there are these young people are graduating with STEM degrees, with engineering degrees, and they are qualified for these jobs. And you do hear anecdotally that some of these younger workers are having trouble finding work. And you also hear from older workers too, who are getting laid off, who are angry about this program. So, I think this is something that probably economists will be looking at a little bit more to see, what is actually happening here? Are there enough American workers? But this was part of the discussion too. Musk came out and basically criticized America for not producing enough talented engineers. Whether that's the case, I think, is a matter that needs to be looked at a little bit more deeply.
Okay, well, we'll see where it stands in the coming months. Aimee, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me on.